We've worked with over 2,000 restaurants, and pretty much every restaurant we work with has the exact same problem. And I'm going to talk to you about these problems that exist in our industry. And I believe if you are a restaurant owner, this will really resonate with you. At least I hope it does. So I have today here on my computer screen, basically the most common problems we see. I'm going to actually read off the notes that our sales team took on a few of these clients. And I'm going to read off what the problem was, and then I'm going to explain to you what we did and the result. You guys ready for some fun? Okay, so the first client I want to discuss is a brand in Sacramento, California, and it's called Viet. Basically, when my sales team talks to any of our clients, we always want to understand what is the problem that the brand is dealing with, what is the root of this problem, and what is the impact of the problem. So let me just explain to you the most common things we hear, and then I'll explain what this brand Sacramento was dealing with and what we did. The most common problem that we hear is a restaurant owner hasn't figured out a way to grow their business. I probably guessed that. Or, maybe they're stuck, or maybe they should be doing a lot better, but they can't even identify where the problem is. And so they're seeking our help. Well, generally speaking, the root of this problem exists because they haven't figured out a way to effectively market their restaurant. And when I say effectively market their restaurant, I mean, they can't even see if their marketing efforts are actually getting people to walk through their doors. So they're spending thousands of dollars, or they're not spending money, but they're putting a lot of personal time into trying to get more guests to walk through their doors. But the problem is nothing they do is actually measurable or predictable or trackable in any way whatsoever. And so they're just like spinning their wheels, and they're trying so hard, but it's hard to continue trying something when you don't even know if it's working, right? And then the impact of this problem, when we get down to it, is most of the time it's stressful. Some of these owners tell us about how they're working 12-hour days, and then they're trying to do the marketing. There's just simply not enough time. They don't see their family. It's just a lot of problems arise because of this. There's a huge impact negatively because they can't solve some of these issues. So in the case of Viet in Sacramento, the case was similar. This has been a challenge for them since what we wrote is June 2024. They were trying so many different things. They used to do a lot of email and text. Wasn't really doing much for them. They had tried some other organic forms of marketing online. Nothing was really working as well. And now at this point, they basically had just given up. They had just stopped. And they put 100% of their focus just on in-store and not much online because, again, they couldn't see that it was actually doing anything. And it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating to try something for so long and still it's not really moving the needle. And so they signed up, and in less than 30 days, so less than a month, we helped them double their daily revenue. They started doing about $18,000 a day, which is nuts, right? Really, really nuts. This owner also owns another concept called Faux and Roll, which they've also seen some pretty amazing growth. So they went from about 1,000 to 1,500 a day to about 3,000 a day. Smaller concept. The growth was so fast, they're now hiring more staff to keep up with this growth. We're so excited to be working with this client. Go look them up. They're an amazing brand. If you're in Sacramento, go check them out. The next one I want to talk to you about is Dos Coyotes. The owner's name is Bobby Coyote. And let me just read off similarly what their problems were before they started with us. The challenge arose back in November 2023. What he told us was, we need more sales. We're doing well, but we know we could be doing a hell of a lot better. They mentioned that there's been a lot of economical challenges going on. And so to combat this, they need more customer volume and more sales, right? We've all seen some problems arise economically over the last couple of years. And the owner, Bobby, mentioned he's always looking for a way to improve marketing, but wasn't unsure where to go. He also mentioned they were looking to target somewhat of a younger audience, right? They want to get some younger bloods in the restaurant. They really need to improve catering. They have an amazing catering concept, but it just wasn't taking off that big for them. Some of the root problems of this was they had done some paid advertising. They were doing a lot on Instagram and Facebook and even TikTok. And thank God TikTok's now back, at least for the time being, as we know. They even hired someone, and they have someone on their team that's doing their social media, but still they weren't seeing the lift that they were imagining. And so I'll just tell you of what they were doing in sales and what their goal was. So they have 7 locations. They're also based in California, by the way. And they're doing about 14 million a year across these 7 locations. Their goal is 28 million. So when I say there was room for growth, there was a hell of a lot of room for growth, okay? They started with us, and with our tailored marketing plan, in just a short period of time, they were breaking records at 4 of their 7 locations in just the first couple months. So all-time records they're breaking. The results speak for themselves, and we're working to now replicate their success on the remaining 3 locations. So we started with 4. Now we're picking up the remainder, which is 3 more. And they're also adding now also additional franchisee locations on. Like I mentioned in the first example, now our second, we're talking about 1 location or 2 locations up to now 7 locations, still seeing incredible results and loving it, right? And our final example here is a brand called Fork and Fire. They are based in Oro Valley, Arizona. So the owner's name is Josh Bishop. Same problems he mentioned. So, and these problems arose back in January 2024. He needed more volume. He said that we want to do twice the volume that we're currently doing in a very developing, affluent area, right? He says he wants more dine-in and catering specifically. He said customer retention is pretty solid, but we could use a system to increase the frequency of our visits. Remember, guys, remarketing is something that a lot of people overlook. It's a lot cheaper to bring someone back than to bring someone initially. So that's why for us, remarketing is a huge staple for what we do for our clients. So he said on the marketing front, now we're at the root of the problem, the marketing. He says, I'm not really sure how effective our efforts are. I know we could be doing a ton more online and have more of a strategy. There's not really much of a strategy right now. He says, I know we're not tracking hard data as well as it should be, and I know we need to refine our strategy as we embark on our 3rd year. I have no idea when we do anything, how effective it is. Problem, should be doing double the business. Root of problem, the marketing just is really not something he can rely on. And he even had no idea how many new customers they were producing. Some of the methods they were using were they were doing social media. They outsourced some company. They were only spending about $100 a month on ad spend, and it was $700 in management, and they were just boosting posts. Really tough. I mean, to be paying someone $700 and then you're only spending $100 on advertising, I mean, that's just not really going to get you the results, right? He was also spending about $100 a month on an app called Nextdoor, some paid ads there. And then he was doing some local publications like coupon stuff. Current numbers when they began working with us was about 1.87 million a year, or about 150,000 a month. He wanted to grow by another 630,000 a year. So he wanted to be doing about $2.5 million a year. Basically, from the year-over-year growth, this is pretty exciting. They saw a 26% increase in the year-over-year sales. In November, they crushed expectations with an over 50% growth year over year, from 124,000 to 190,000, thanks to an incredibly successful Thanksgiving catering campaign. And you guys already know this if you're a restaurant owner, but obviously catering is a very profitable source of making revenue in the restaurant space. And with our tailored approach and our data-driven approach, Fork and Fire is now on track to become a $2.5 million a year powerhouse with an even greater horizon. So capitalizing on their goals in a fairly short period of time. Again, guys, I wanted to make this video for you today and talk about these couple clients simply because I think a lot of restaurant owners, when they start with us, they for some reason think that they're like the only one dealing with these kinds of problems. I'm here to say that these are very common problems. And the whole reason we're in business is because this is the only problem we solve. You know, we're not a super creative agency. We're not going to go create some video that'll blow your mind, even though I think we have a pretty amazing video team. But that's not our super strength. Our strength is how do we convert someone online to walk through your doors and prove it? And if we can solve that pain point, it can make all the difference in the world. And so, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you have any questions at all, feel free to comment below. Feel free to email us, book a call. We'd love to chat with you. And otherwise, be sure to subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this. Cheers.